December 13th marks the 81st anniversary of the Nanjing Massacre. In recognition of the crimes against humanity and in the spirit of never again, I'm calling on the government to declare December 13th of every year as Nanjing Massacre Commemorative Day. Up to 300,000 people were killed. An estimated 200,000 women from occupied territories in Asia were tricked or coerced by the Japanese Imperial Army into sexual slavery. The UN recognizes 19 countries where sexual violence is used as a tactic of war. If we can learn from history and commit to preventing it from happening again, humanity benefits. Order of Canada recipients Joy Kagawa, Dr. Joseph Wong from Canada Alpha, Satsuko Norimatsu from Japanese Canadians in support of Nanjing Massacre Commemorative Day, CACA, NCCC, CCC of Greater Vancouver and Toronto, the Korean Senior Citizens of Greater Vancouver, the Canada Philippines in Solidarity for Human Rights, along with close to 440,000 petitioners across the country are in support. I hope all members will as well.
For Vancouver East.
Here is the 81st anniversary of the Nanjing Massacre. Approximately 300,000 people were killed, and an estimated 200,000 women from Japanese-occupied territories were tricked or coerced into sexual slavery. A family member told me today, my grandmother and mother never stopped talking about what happened and how shameful it was that so much of the world never even knew. On behalf of Order of Canada recipient Joy Kogawa and nearly 40,000 Canadians, I ask, will the Prime Minister declare December 13th every year as Nanjing Massacre Commemorative Day? Yes or no?
Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, of course we deplore the horrific events that took place in Nanjing 80 years ago. All Canadians can agree that the loss of life and violence that so many civilians faced should never be forgotten. We will never forget those terrible acts. The memory of these victims and survivors must be addressed in the true spirit of reconciliation.
Honourable Member for Mount Royal.
Mr.
Member for Vancouver East is rising on a point of order.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I think that if you seek it, you will find there's unanimous consent from the House for the following motion, that the House recognizes that 81 years ago, Imperial Japanese Army forces raped an estimated 20 to 80,000 Chinese women and girls, and approximately 300,000 people were killed. That after the Nanjing Massacre, the military sexual slavery system for the Japanese military expanded rapidly, and an estimated 200,000 women from Korea, Philippines, China, Burma, Indonesia, and other Japanese-occupied territories were tricked, kidnapped, or coerced to work in brothels to serve as, quote, comfort women to the Imperial Japanese Army. That Western eyewitness in Nanjing described the atrocities as hell on earth. That the House of Commons in 2007 unanimously passed a motion in recognition that the Imperial Armed Forces of Japan used women as sex slaves during the Second World War. Therefore, in the opinion of the House, that the government formally acknowledge this by declaring December 13th of each year as Nanjing Massacre Commemorative Day in Canada.
Does the honourable member have the unanimous consent of the House to propose the motion? No, there is no unanimous consent. The honourable member for Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan? No. Okay. Divisions. Member for the honourable member for Vancouver East.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise to table a petition. I have a petition from thousands of Canadians. In fact, in total, close to 40,000 Canadians who've signed this petition either in this format or online. And some of them, by the way, have not been verified yet because of the sheer volume of the petitions are sitting in a box in my office. And the petitioners are calling for the government to declare December 13th as Nanjing Massacre Commemorative Day each year. And it notes that in 1937, the Imperial Japanese Army raped approximately 20,000 to 80,000 Chinese women and girls and killed an estimated 300,000 people. Documents of the Nanjing Massacre were included in the UNESCO Memory of the World Registry, and Western eyewitness at the time described these atrocities as hell on earth. And after the Nanjing Massacre, the military sexual slavery system for the Japanese military expanded rapidly, and approximately 200,000 women from Korea, Philippines, China, Burma, Indonesia, and other Japanese occupied territories were tricked, kidnapped, or coerced into working in, quote, comfort stations to serve as, quote, comfort women to the Imperial Japanese Army. The crimes against humanity perpetrated during the Nanjing Massacre is not merely a regional issue, but an issue of international justice that is acknowledged by various provinces across Canada through different commemorative events. And Canada has a rich humanitarian tradition of advocating for peace and recognizing global atrocities where women and children are often brutal casualties of war and armed conflicts. To that end, I hope that the government will act on this.